We are multiplying decimals. I'll do 5 and 6. We have 0.9 times 0.7. 7 times 9 is 63. We have 2 decimal places in our question, so we need 2 in our answer. For this next one, we have 10 times 0.7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 1 is 7. It has 1 decimal place in the question, so it needs 1 in the answer for 7.0, or just 7. This artwork is made up of entirely pennies. Think about some things you notice or wonder about this artwork. We are going to answer the following questions about this piece of art. It says, determine what information you need and what operations you can use to answer each question. This does not mean we actually need to find the answers. What is the total number of pennies used to make the artwork? So instead of trying to count up all of these pennies, we could count the number of pennies along the length and the width and multiply to find how many pennies in all. Part B asks, what is the length of the artwork in inches? What is the width? So we could figure out the length of 1 penny and multiply the number of pennies along the width and the length by how many inches is in a penny. Part C, what is the total value in dollars of the pennies used to make the artwork? Well, in part A, we said to find the total pennies, we could multiply the length and width together. So we could multiply the total pennies by their value, which is 0.01 of a dollar, 1 penny. What is the total weight in grams of the pennies used to make the artwork? Here we could multiply the total pennies by the weight of 1 penny. If all the pennies used to make the artwork were stacked, how high would the stack be? We could multiply the total pennies by the thickness, or how high, of 1 penny. The width of a penny is 19.05 millimeters. If 46 pennies are arranged in one row, how can we find the length of the row of pennies in millimeters? You can see we have Julie's method and Scott's method, and they both multiply the thickness, or the width, 19.05, by 46, because there's 46 pennies in one row. So we are going to look at these two different methods. We can see that Julie approximated that 19 is around 20 and 46 is about 50. So 20 times 50 comes out to around 1,000 millimeters. Whereas Scott looked at 19 and 46 and multiplied those to get 874 millimeters. So we know, since Julie rounded up and Scott rounded down, that our actual answer is between 876 and 1000. We are going to practice estimating products. I have displayed this multiplication expression, and the product we need to estimate. So we're going to start by approximating, and then we're actually going to find the answer. So I have 4.9 is about 5, and 2.8 is around 3. So this is approximately 15. Here, this equation is missing a decimal point. Our job is to estimate the product by writing the decimal point in the correct spot. We just estimated that this is about 15. So the decimal, should it go here, 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 or perhaps at the end? To get a number that's about 15, we're going to put it in between the 3 and the 7 to get 13.72. Here's another one. Let's approximate these as well. 9 is approximately 10, and 5.5 you can round to 5 or 6. 10 times 6 is around 60. So we could put it here, giving us a number around 5, 50, 500, or around 5,000. Our decimal place needs to be placed between the two zeros to get a number that's close to 60. Looking at this one as well, I have this is around 9, and this is approximately 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So to get a decimal in the correct spot, it should be located here. You may notice that I have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots in the factors and 1, 2, 3 in the product. Let's look back at this last one. This one we placed here. We had 1, 2 in the factors and 2 in the product as well. This one had 1, 2, and 2 in the product also. This one, if we use that same line of thinking, has 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would go 1, 2, 3, 4 to get about 64. This is about 10, and this is around 7, which is around 60. So 64 is a good place for that decimal. This one has 1, 2, 3. If I did 4 times a quarter of 4 is about 1, so 1.100. For problems 2 and 3, multiply and justify your reasoning for the location of the decimal point in the product. So I have 17.125 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3 more makes 15. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 more makes 10. I see there are 1, 2, 3 decimal spots in the question, so there should be 3 in our answer, which is about 102.75. Now we do need to explain or justify. So this 17 is around 20, and then we have about 6. Well, 20 times 6 would be 120, so it's close if we round up to the tens there. Here I have 11.5 times 23.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5. 6, 7. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 plus 7 is 12. 9 plus 1 is 10. 3 plus 1 is 7. And then we got the 2. There are 1, 2 decimals in the question, so we should have 2 in our answer. 270.25. Now this is approximately 12, and this is approximately 24. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. So this is around 288 if we round it up. So an answer of 270.25 indicates that our decimal is in the correct spot. So we can check our work for those first problems, making sure our answers have the decimals in the correct location. For problems 4 through 7, compute the target sum by adding the products for A through C. In class, we will be working in teams of 3, so you'll only be responsible for one part. I'm going to task you with part A, and then I will do B and C. You can work on A and then come back to check your work, and you can follow along with me for parts B and C. Pause here to attempt both part A. Computing the sum, we have 4.089 plus 0.2418 plus 1.02. Remember, in addition, it's important to keep the place values lined up. That would be 8, 10, 15, 3, and 5, which is what we ended up with for the sum there as well. And we have 6.45, 14.124, and 0.2408. That would be 8, 4, 11, 8, oops, 10, and a 2, which is what we have here as well. Again, for number 6 and 7, pause the video here for you to complete part A independently. Please come back when you are ready to check your work. There is a typo on C. This, in order to get the sum of 12.5888, is not going to work, so it should be 2.31 here, which would adjust our product on part C, and then it would add up to this sum. So if your book is a 1 there, keep in mind this doesn't match. There is a typo in the teacher's edition. Oops. Now let's multiply for B. And C. Now we will add to check. Which it matches for number 7. The width of a rectangular classroom is 29.25 feet. The length is 31.5. What is the area in square feet? This is a multiplication. To find the area of a rectangle, we multiply width and length. Five times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 more makes 12. 5 times 9 is 45. 46. 5 times 2 is 10. 14. 1 times 5, 1 times 2, 1 times 9, 1 times 2. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6. 7. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 2 is 6. 7, 8. 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 9 is 14. Plus 7 is 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4, 5. Plus 7 is 12. And 8 plus 1 is 9. I have 1, 2, 3 in my question. 1, 2, 3 in my answer, so it should say 921.375 feet squared. B, a company charges 40 cents per square foot to wax a floor. What is the cost to wax the classroom floor? So we're going to multiply this number by 0.40. All of these are going to be zeros across the board. Then we use our spacer. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 2 more makes 30. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 more makes 5. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 9 is 36. Adding these all up, we have 3, 6, 8, 5, 0, 0, 0. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the question. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which indicates it is $368.55 to wax the floor. We don't need these extra zeros after the end of the decimal. Miss Song wants to drink 2.2 liters of water daily. By lunchtime, she drinks 85% of her daily amount of water. What is the total amount of water in liters Miss Song drinks by lunchtime? Recall that for percents, we rewrite it as part whole percent out of 100, and we use that cross multiply and divide technique. Here I have 85%, and 2.2 is part of her daily water. So that's going to go in the part position. So we're going to cross multiply 2.2 times 100. 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2. So this is with 1 decimal spot. Should be 220. And then we divide by 85. Well, if I do 85 and 85 together, 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. So we can fit 2 of them in there. 170 taken away from 220 is 50. Bring down the 0. 85 is close to 100, so it could fit about 5 times. Let's try 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 3 more would make 51, so that's too large. So it's going to fit in 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 2 more makes 42. So if we subtract 500 minus 425 is 75. Oops, and I meant to write the 5 there. How many 85s can fit into 750? I've got this backwards. This 2.2 should have been the whole. That is the amount she's had so far, or she wants to drink, and we're looking for how much she has had so far by lunchtime. So we're going to replace this 2.2 in the denominator and try again. We are looking for the part she has had by lunchtime. So 2.2 times 85. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 more makes 11. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. So this is 187 divided by 100. And if you divide by 100, it moves the decimal 2 spots. So this would be 1.87 liters by lunchtime. So in part B, how many more liters does Miss Song need to drink to meet her daily goal? So we have 2.2 minus 1.87. In that gap, we're going to put a 0. We have to borrow or recruit. 10 minus 7 is 3. Again, 11 minus 8 is 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So she needs 0.33 liters. Make sure your warm-up is completed and you fixed part A on number 9. Sorry about the mix-up.